JR.
And today our topic is going to be
1990s fashion, toys, games,
fads. Kind
fads.
Of going off the same thing that we did a few weeks ago when we did the 80s stuff. Now we're going to do the 90s. First thing we're going to do is go into our holidays for this week. On Monday, we have Deep Dish Pizza Day, Go for Broke Day, National Dandelion Day, and Read a Roadmap Day.
Which nobody does anymore.
I know.
And then Tuesday we have California Poppy Day, National Tartan Day, New Beer's Eve, Plan Your Epitaph. I have no idea.
That's what goes on your tombstone.
Oh, Sorry Charlie Day and Teflon Day, which there's a lot of things to be into that.
I know. Then on Wednesday we have Caramel Popcorn Day, International Beaver Day, National Beer Day, National Beer Day, National Walking Day, No Housework Day, and World Health Day.
Oh, the jokes. And then Thursday, April 8th, we have All Is Ours Day, Draw a Picture of a Bird Day, and Zoo Lovers Day.
Then on Friday, April 9th, we have Name Yourself Day and Winston Churchill Day.
And then Saturday, we have Golfer's Day, which is a perfect day because, golf is usually on Sunday. And we have National Farm Animals Day, National Siblings Day, and Safety Pin Day.
And then on Sunday is Barbershop Quartet Day, 8-Track Tape Day, and National Submarine Day.
You put an 8-track in a kid's hands these days, he'd be like, what is this crap?
I know. But that's the holidays for the week. And now we're going to get into the 90s fads that we remember and that we participated in. Now, I was 14 in 1990. So I definitely had I had vest, and I definitely had the denim on denim. I had denim jackets with blue jeans. Now, I didn't wear a lot of blue jeans, but I did wear blue jean skirts. I wore a lot of blue short and mid-length blue jean skirts.
But denim in general has not really went out of style. It just kind of faded away and then
right, it changes. And the style of pants and skirts, they go bell bottom, straight leg, loose fit. The different styles. Then there's acid and then dark denim.
Then they had the denim purses and denim wallets and.
Oh, I had all that in the 90s. My mom got good at sewing with denim in the 90s, so I had denim jeans, I had denim jackets, I had denim shirts, I had denim bags. I had all kinds of denim because she got good at she started sewing a good bit in the 90s.
But I don't think denim will ever
not go out of style.
But they can repurpose it and there's so much you can do with denim that you can cut your jeans up and make stuff.
Right.
You can make.
Yeah, I've actually
one pocket. You could take one pocket, cut it off one pair of denim jeans and sew it onto another to make a new fashion statement. So
I've taken jeans and made them into shorts. Everybody's done that.
Yeah, well, Daisy Dukes, duh.
Right.
Everybody
and then
made them.
There's, I've seen take jeans and make it into an apron. You take the back part of the jeans that have the pockets and you can make that into an apron that has pockets for working in the yard and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so much you can do with denim.
Right.
Vests, I never wore vests.
I did. I loved vests.
I had a vest jacket for outdoors, but that's about it.
I had all kinds of vests.
It's the one that I could. It had the sleeves. You can zip them on and off, and it had regular sleeves, and then you can take them off, and it became a vest.
Right.
I guess.
I had all types of different fancy vests, just like suit vests and stuff that I wore tank tops underneath. You wore a tank top, and then you put the vest over top, and I had all kinds of vests like that. Oh. And then scrunchies. To me, scrunchies will never go out of style. A
lot of things could be a scrunchie.
I know, but if you see, I still wear scrunchies. Right. I have a drawer full of scrunchies over there.
You can have a scrunchie. You can turn anything into a scrunchie as long as you know what you're doing.
Right.
It's just something elastic. I still wonder if I take one of them apart if it's just a rubber band in there.
It's elastic, but yeah, it's
same concept.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Oh, dances.
Well, no, no.
Oh, fanny packs.
Fanny packs.
I can't say I ever really had a fanny pack. I had purses, but...
I had a fanny pack, but I didn't wear it. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I had one, but I didn't wear it all the time. I only wore it once in a while, but I had one because
it was the style.
Well, it wasn't a style. Just they were brought. My uncle or mom or somebody gave us one, and we each had one. And my brother wore his, but I didn't wear one.
I think that we had them, but I don't remember. I mean, I was a girl at the time and we had all kinds of purses, but I can't say I ever actually used fanny packs. And I don't remember if my brother ever actually used it. I really don't. And then the dance crazes of the 90s. The Carlton and the Running Man. And breakdancing was big in the 90s too.
Yeah, it was. But the Running Man, you know, I don't know where the Running Man came up, because if you want to talk about that, you can talk about the Cabbage Patch, the Running Man. Mm-hmm. We know where the Carlton came from. It came from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And he still does it.
Yeah, he still does it every so often.
Yeah, you'll see him. Yeah, he'll do it when he's in an interview or...
Yeah, when he hosts, I can't think of the show.
AFV, America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah, he does it on there every so often.
He was hosting Card Sharks.
A game show or something like that.
Or 21 or something.
Yeah.
He was hosting that game show. It was either 21 or Card Sharks.
Yeah, but I mean, he's definitely come a long way. But then, I mean, you look at Will Smith, and Will Smith has definitely come a long way from his early days of summertime rapping. And
yeah, that's where one of these fashions came from, the color stage, where everybody was putting all different colors together.
Yeah.
Like, between Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and, what's that one... when they're in a college, A Different World.
Yeah. A
lot of fashion trends came out of that TV show as well.
A Different World came from the Cosby Show.
Right, but some of the fashions that they had back in the 90s came from there too. Mm-hmm. Like Kid and Play and Different World TV shows, like people would run, you know, with stuff like that. And that, you know, fanny packs, they had that on Fresh Prince.
Yeah. Oh,
a lot of the stuff that we don't realize
comes from TV. Especially when in the 80s and 90s, a lot of stuff, the styles and the fads that were going on at the time came from television.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with taking an idea and following it. But what I suggest is find a way to make it different.
Right.
You know, we have people that they're followers, they like to follow trends, and they got people that like to make trends different. And if you think it's how they say it, meh, blah, you know, fashion statement,
change it.
Figure out to change it to something that you might think is better.
Right.
Me, I'm not a color coordinated type person.
You're not a fashion type person either.
I like to dress nice, I do, but not all the time. But I'm getting older, so I'm trying to dress.
Change your style a little bit.
Like nice dress pants, slacks or something.
Right.
I gotta give me a new pair of shoes, like not shoes, but like dress pants.
Right.
Dress shoes, but I don't go out enough to.
I know, especially right now with COVID and quarantine.
Fashion to me, you know, like they got people that change like 2 or 3 times a day.
I know. I mean, I kind of, depending on the day. When I'm recording, I typically wear multiple different outfits a day because I'm recording. But I mean, I wear my pajamas at night, and then I wear a tank top and tights during the day. That is typically my outfit.
When I don't go anywhere, it's jogging pants and just a regular shirt.
Right, and I mean, and really, once quarantine is over, once all of the stuff with COVID is over, I can't wait to actually start dressing to go places again. Because like I said, I wear tank top. I mean, I have a closet full of clothes, and I wear tank tops and tights all the time.
I'm a cargo person. I got 4 or 5 pair of cargo pants.
Right.
That I like to wear. I like the it's the they're the real thin ones. They have a name for it.
Those like jogging type?
No. They're kind of like with
linen.
Linen, yes, that type of material. I like those too. I like
like the linen pants.
I like the linen pants, the linen shirts. Because they're comfortable, they're airy, and, you know, I even want to start looking into maybe down the road, once I get to my goal weight, getting me some plaid dress pants, you know, like...
like Argyle type pants and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're flannel, but they're plaid.
Right, yeah.
They're like... like
it's like it's
like the schoolgirl outfits, but
Yeah.
men's pants like that.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a pair.
Something kind of similar to the.
In the latest video from one of these rappers that I follow, his girlfriend had a pair of yellow ones on, and it's like, I might want to give me a pair one day.
I can't think of the.
They're just
Is it
plaid.
Buffalo Check or?
I don't know.
Like
They're just plaid. That's all I know.
Then there's the 90s toys and games. Now, I know we had Game Boys in the 90s.
But no, Game Boys started out early, but then they came out with the Game Boy Color. Right. Which was, you know, they nostalgia.
Yeah, because the original Game Boys were that chroma color.
Yeah, like they were white with the grayish.
I know, but I'm talking about the display. It was that.
But Game Boy Color was not the display. The color was the case around it.
Oh, okay. Because I know the only ones that we had were the regular Game Boys. That's the only ones that we had.
I never had a Game Boy, so I didn't.
I know we did. I know Barry and I shared one. We had one that we shared, and he played it more than I did because I wasn't. At that time, I was a teenage girl, and I was more into chasing boys than I was into actually.
Well, I had a Nintendo, and I was satisfied with that. I didn't need a handheld game to take with me.
I think we had a Nintendo too. Yeah, because we had the kind that if it wasn't working, you took it out and you blew on it and you stuck it back.
That was a regular Nintendo Entertainment System. But you could do that with
the old NES system.
You could do that with 64 too, because they were cartridges. But now
everything's digital.
Yeah, Xbox and Sony are coming out with, when they came out, I think with their new platforms, they have the choice of you can buy one that you can put discs in, or you can buy one that's just all digital.
I know. I mean, nowadays, you know, you look at everything and you see everything is so digital, everything is online, and I remember those old cartridges and the old Nintendo stuff that you had to buy all these different types of accessories just to play a simple game. Well, you know,
they had when Pong first came out. If you think about it, Pong was the original plug and play because you just plugged it in to your TV and it turned on. Mm-hmm. It's the original plug and play, and now you got these mini systems. Because I got one. It's Atari.
You had that old Atari.
It's Atari.
Is it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I want to get the NES mini version.
I thought we had gotten you an NES too.
No, you got me the Atari. But if you want to talk about the toys and games from back in, Bop It.
What was Bop? I don't remember that. It was that thing.
It had a long thing, it had a circle on thing. You pull it in, you bop it, you pull it, you make noise like.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some looking online to see because I don't remember that one actually.
You don't remember Bop It?
No, I don't.
Like seriously?
I do remember Moon Shoes, but we weren't allowed to have that stuff. My mom called it. Now, I love to laugh at my mom because she would tell us that certain things were too dangerous for us.
That's what a Bop It looked like. It had two things on the end and something in the middle, and you had to follow the sound. Gotcha. It's similar like what Simon Says. But to what Simon did. But you know, you follow you got to follow a pattern.
Right. Gotcha. But and what I was saying, my mom, she would say certain things were too dangerous for us. But then my mom, in her generation, they used to play with sharpened lawn darts. You know, these metal projectiles that they threw across the yard at each other. You know, that our toys were too dangerous, but they used to play with that, you know. And if you look at the evolution of toys, I mean, my mom's generation, my mom is a boomer. You know, your mom is the generation before my mom, because your mom's older than mine.
About 15 years, 16, 15,
yeah, because
15 and 20
my
years.
mom's parents are 2 years.
Your mom's
would have
60,
been 2 years. Yeah.
Your mom's 60 or 64?
No, my mom's 64 right now.
So my mom is about to be 80. So yeah,
about 15 years.
About 15, 16 years.
Yeah, because my grandparents, my mom's parents,
and
were only 2 years.
And that makes a lot of difference when it comes to toys and trends because you know, Stretch Armstrong, you know, things like that. Right. Then you have Nerf guns. So you talk about lawn darts, then you have Nerf guns.
We had Nerf guns. And Barry and my dad used to play with the Nerf guns. But the biggest thing that I remember with the Nerf guns was that my dad didn't like cats. Okay. My mom had a cat. And when the cat would irritate my dad, he would keep the Nerf gun in his recliner where he was sitting. He would keep the Nerf gun next to him where nobody could see it. And when the cat would come down the hall, if it came like out the hallway into the living room, my dad would go, "Dear Caesar," and shoot the cat with the Nerf Nerf pellet.
Yeah, you don't shoot animals though. Regardless, he could have hurt it.
He never did. But I mean, it would be so funny because you would hear him no matter where you were in the house. He would yell, "Dear Season," and shoot the cat. Now, he also had a water gun that he would do with do to the cat. But that particular cat used to scratch up the sofas and the curtains. And I can't tell you how many curtain rods the cat pulled down. And my dad was so irritated. My dad was a dog person. My mom's a cat person, you know. One of many things that are different about the two of them. But he used to, that's my biggest memory from the Nerf guns, is not kids playing, but my dad playing with the cat. You know, shooting the cat is my biggest memory from having Nerf guns.
Well, I mean, Nerf guns, they're still fun to this day.
Yeah.
Now they've made them so they can rapid fire and fire more than one pellet, dart, whatever you want to use.
I know. Marcus had some Nerf guns. I didn't like them because I didn't. I know I'm a kind of overprotective mother. When he was little, I didn't want him having guns. I didn't want him having a gun type because I wanted to teach him about guns before he got them. And when he was little, I didn't want to get into that kind of discussion with him. But once he was 11, 12 years old, he had, his dad would buy him the Nerf guns and stuff, and he would abuse it and get it taken away, and he'd try and shoot one of us, and he'd get it taken away.
But if you want to talk about Nerf guns, you got to talk about the other gun.
Which was?
Supersoakers.
Oh, we had
water guns.
I know.
When we were growing up, before we got into our teenage years, it was these little squirt guns. Like, little bitty guns had to fill up, like...
And you squirt it 4 or 5 times, and it was done, and you had to go fill it up again. Yeah.
And then as the stuff started transcending... Getting better. Now you got a super soaker. Now you got a super soaker today that you crank it, and the stream will shoot you 15 feet away and still soak you.
Right.
And super soakers, and then you got, these things now, if you want to do a balloon fight, you can load up and fill up 100 balloons at one time and release it, and it's like...
I remember playing with the hose, filling up the...
Why they didn't have... Now, see, just think if they had that contraption back in the day where we could fill up 100 balloons at once...
Oh, I know.
You know how many more fights with balloons we probably had?
We would fill up a big bucket of water balloons. We'd go in the house, me and my brother, and then the neighbor. There was 2 other sets of brothers and sisters on our street that were around our age. And we'd all go in our houses, we'd fill up a bucket of water balloons, and we'd play for 5 minutes, and we'd be out of balloons.
Right.
And then we'd go get hoses and just spray each other with hoses.
I understand the fun, but why don't you just pick up a hose from somebody's, like, in your front yard and just spray people with it?
Right.
It's a lot easier.
And then one of my neighbors had a swimming pool, so we'd
get
soaked with the balloons and then go play in the swimming pool.
I never thought about this now, but I thought about a game like, say you had 4 or 5, you and your friends, and you have the hose. But back then, it's like you couldn't use the hose that much because they would fuss about
the water bill.
Well, that depends because still today, they have places that you don't have a water bill.
Right.
But if you had,
we owned our house, so we had my mom.
If you have a place that has well water, you
right.
You can run off a hose.
But we used to have fun with stuff like that, and I mean, I remember after I graduated high school. Now I graduated in '94.
I didn't graduate.
I know, but you got your GED.
I know, but I didn't graduate.
But
it doesn't mean I didn't go to school though.
Right. I graduated in '94. And I know after I graduated high school, I remember the Super Soakers coming out. But I was an adult by that time. I didn't play and stuff like that. But I remember my brother and his friends would play with him. I mean, my brother played football at that time. So him and the football players, they would have the Super Soaker guns in the locker rooms. When he played football, and his friends and stuff would be playing with the water guns and stuff like that, especially during the summertime. It gets so hot here. And I remember those summers were being very hot. The summer, 93, 94, those
Right.
years were those summers were really hot. And I remember playing with the hose, having the hoses and the water guns and stuff like that.
We didn't talk about, the one thing we never talked about is like certain types of food back in the 90s.
I don't remember a whole lot of food trends. I mean, food trends come and go.
Well, yeah, stuff like the stuffed crust pizza got famous. Tall food, lava cake, hot pocket.
I saw stuff that came out in the 90s.
Or stuff that was a rage. Like, let's look at this list.
Stuffed crust
pizza.
Loved stuffed crust pizza.
Sun-dried tomatoes.
That was a thing. I never liked tomatoes.
I have no idea what that is. Fuka, it's a bread something. Tuna mac and cheese. Tall food. Yeah, that was a thing. Like,
I don't know what tall food is.
See, us being from here.
Right, we didn't.
There's a lot of foods that we don't know about.
Right.
But lately, during carnival season, everybody wants to put things on a stick. Crab cakes, Doritos casserole. I mean, the foods back then were different than they are now.
And I guess it has a lot to do with where we live. We live in New Orleans, so we have food festivals at least once a month. And the food here
they'll celebrate anything.
Oh, yes. The food festivals, and the food here is so rich and so decadent and fattening, which is one struggle that I'm definitely struggling with right now, is learning to eat to live. Eat what I need to live and nothing more. And that's...
But you can still enjoy things once in a while. You don't have...
Right, but, I mean, a lot of my problem with food is I eat, just to taste something.
Oh.
And that is, just to taste something sweet or just to taste something decadent, which is what I was taught as I was growing up. What is taught here in New Orleans, it's how we live here.
80% healthy, 20% junk once you get back to your normal.
Right. But right now I'm learning in my head, having to relearn my relationship with food. And
I think I snack lately because I get bored.
And that's why I have gum. I've gotten to where I chew gum.
That's why I'm starting to try to find stuff I can drink that's not sugar, that doesn't have protein. I mean, it doesn't matter if it has protein, but I like this.
That doesn't have a lot of sugar in it, right?
It doesn't have no sugar.
Right.
But I'm trying to find stuff that I can taste that I don't have to require just energy drinks and coffee.
Right.
Like I have the stuff I drink from Walmart, the orange early morning blast, which is good because I like it. All right, we're gonna talk. There's a few cartoons I want to mention.
Yes.
Jonny Quest was the rage.
Right, it was.
I never watched it.
I can't say that I ever did. I knew what it was about.
I never watched it.
I think my brother watched it, but I was more into Garfield, Looney Tunes,
DuckTales.
I like DuckTales, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Flintstones and Jetsons definitely were a thing, but I liked Animaniacs.
We need to watch they redid
it, right, and it's different though. But I love the Animaniacs because it took current trends from the 90s at the time, and then it also integrated the old 60s and 70s cartoons. Because, like, Flintstones and Jetsons, that was the 50s and 60s cartoons.
No.
Yes. The Jetsons and the Flintstones originated in the 50s and 60s.
Now you got me wanting to look it up.
You can go look it up. I'm telling you. Because I know that my parents watched the Jetsons and the Flintstones when they were kids. That's how I know it came out at that time period. And what the Animaniacs did at the time was it integrated the old stuff in with the new stuff.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it came out in 1962.
Yes, that's what I knew because I remember. I know that one of my dad's absolute favorite cartoons when he was growing up was the Flintstones, and he used to talk about that all the time. That's why I knew.
Yeah, 1960
to
1966 for the Flintstones.
Yeah.
See, I never knew that. I thought they were like
I knew it now.
Later 70s, early 80s.
No, they came out in the 60s because that's how I remember is because my parents used to talk about watching that when they were kids.
I thought it was late 70s, early 80s when I was still.
Because see, I know that when we were kids, when me and my brother were kids. My dad, Saturday mornings, we would all sit down and watch. Not my mom. My mom was the adult.
Now keep talking, because that's got me wondering about Tom and Jerry now.
My mom was the adult of the house. My dad would sit down with us. He would go, before we got up in the morning, he would go get donuts. And then we would sit down and eat donuts and watch cartoons in the mornings. You know, he would sit and watch Looney Tunes with us. And he would sit. Now, my mom would watch Looney Tunes, but my dad would sit and watch the Flintstones, and he would watch the Jetsons. He was like a kid when we were kids, you know.
Well, I never knew they came out that.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry's old too.
Tom and Jerry 1940.
Right.
But I never knew. I thought, like I said, Flintstones, Jetsons were like late 70s, middle 70s,
because the
early
Flintstones
80s.
Was actually based off of the Honeymooners.
They just re-released them. Mm-hmm. That's all they did.
I think in the 70s they came up, either the 70s or 80s. They made a few new seasons of the Flintstones. But it originally came out in the 60s. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't, because, I mean, like I said, we had to fact check each other, because I'm not.
I knew. I remember my parents telling stories about them sitting and watching Saturday morning cartoons with the Flintstones and the Jetsons.
Well, if you want to go back to more cartoons about that era, you got Heckle and Jekyll. You got.
Wait, what was Pink Panther?
Pink Panther. You got Felix the Cat.
But Rocky and Bullwinkle and that's stuff that would come on when we were young too, but they originated in the 50s and 60s.
The Underdog. Then you got Mighty Mouse, you know.
Oh, I love Mighty Mouse. I did. I loved Mighty Mouse.
Stuff like that, you know, paved the way for cartoons now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still love cartoons. Right. I mean, you know, then you had the Thundercats.
Yeah.
That was different, you know.
And then the Dragon Ball Z stuff, which actually led into, like, the Pokemon with Ash and stuff. But that Japanese stuff.
Some of these cartoons play off each other, like Voltron. Was the early versions of anime and stuff. Was the early version of what's now anime. And I liked Voltron.
Right.
But I can't get into this new anime stuff. It's just...
It's different. And, I mean, I know some things I can still watch. Some cartoons I can. But other things... To me, I feel like they're watering down cartoons now and making...
They took Donald Duck and they made... I wouldn't know if they call them a spinoff, but they had DuckTales, Scrooge McDuck, Tailspin, you know, because that came from Chip and Dale. So it's kind of like they all played off each other.
Right, and honestly, that's mostly...
And if you want to be honest, you can take these old cartoons and, like, take each character and make a spinoff if you wanted to. For instance, you could take the Jetsons years later.
Right.
And you can make a spinoff Elroy what his life is like now.
Right.
And then the daughter...
What's the daughter's name? I can't think of her name. Was it Judy?
Yes.
Judy? Yeah, the daughter was Judy and the son was Elroy. And Rosie the maid.
Right. And you could take... You know, you could take the Flintstones and you can make a spinoff. Well, I think they did that.
They did Pebbles and Bamm Bamm.
You could do that with Popeye. I mean, you could take all of these old cartoons like DuckTales and you can grow up.
You want to really be shocked? Go see when Popeye originated.
I kind of figured it was 1900.
It's late. Popeye was early, one of the early cartoons. I know that.
1919. Yeah, I know. I kind of figured that.
That was one of the early cartoons.
I kind of figured that.
I knew that one.
But,
because Popeye was originally based upon World War I soldiers.
Now, there's one thing on this list that I really wanted to point out.
Okay.
The movie The Craft. It had spawned a saying, light as a feather, stiff as a board.
But that was before. That was a game that came out before The Craft.
But they're the one that made it.
They made it more popular, yes.
They made it trend in that movie.
But I know when I was a kid in the early 80s. Because The Craft didn't come out to the late 90s.
You lay on your stomach, you hold your hands up like this, and people count, and they lower your hands, and it feels like you're floating.
Right. I mean,
it's
that was a
game.
Yeah, that was a game we used to play when I was a small kid. So, and that was early 80s. So, The Craft didn't come out. Now, The Craft did make Wiccanism and witchcraft more social, I guess. It put it more to the forefront.
Craft, they made the nostalgia,
Right. And now they did portray it as more negative, whereas when Charmed finally came out, the TV show Charmed in the mid to late 90s.
See, that's where I get frustrated about all of this going on today about this cancel culture because, okay, remember the other day when I came home I told you there was a song by Houdini called I'm a Hoe. They had none of this cancel culture stuff back in the early 60s and 70s when people were making these songs. It's called expression.
Right. They didn't have much cancel culture when we were in the 90s.
But now
that's a more recent trend.
Everybody wants to stop this or stop that. I can understand most of it. I can understand a good bit of it.
Right.
I can. But some
it's
things...
also, I don't think people should be villainized for beliefs that they have just because it isn't as popular, as people want it to be. Just because something isn't a norm by society, they want to cancel it. And there's a lot of things in society that things get canceled that I don't like personally, but I don't think that it should be canceled because someone thinks differently. Like, I don't subscribe to organized religion. I believe more in the Wiccan, like Charmed type religion and stuff like that.
And me, I don't follow organized religion. I believe I'm a person that believes
spiritual
and things happen the way they happen. They're meant to be.
Right.
And that's not religion. That's another topic for another day.
But it's still in today's society. If you don't do what the norm says you should, they want to cancel you. And while, yes, I don't agree with some of the things that are getting canceled, I don't think that it should be canceled.
How about we just take one of these toys called a Slinky and just wrap them up and say, hey, go play?
I don't think that it should be canceled. I mean, that's something... The good thing about our society, though, well, what used to be a good thing about our society is there's all types. There's all types of people. We had that discussion, but I mean, things should, you shouldn't put, because back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, we had a pretty good freedom of expression. Right.
There was something I saw that somebody compared a doctor. He had his white coat on. You couldn't tell he had tattoos.
Right.
But in his regular everyday, his arms and his chest are all covered with tattoos.
Right.
Should that make a difference if he does a good job at what he does? No, it shouldn't.
Right.
If a man has dreads in his hair, back in the 80s and 90s, it didn't really matter.
Right.
They didn't care.
Right.
But
different opinions.
We're getting off subject.
I know, but it's just about time, though.
And one more thing I want to say on here. I mentioned it. The Slinky.
Slinkies didn't originate in the 90s.
No, but they are still to this day one of the most nostalgic toys because it blows people's mind. Because I remember when somebody made it go down the steps in China, they let it go down the steps.
Now I will say that with the Slinky, in the 90s was the last time you could actually buy metal Slinkies. You can't buy metal Slinkies now. Not new. They don't make them new anymore. They only make the plastic kind. They stopped making the metal kind.
I don't know.
I do. I remember that because when Marcus was little, I looked for it, and they stopped making the metal Slinky. They only make the plastic kind now. Now, you can probably find it on eBay and places like that, but as far as finding it new, you can't find the metal kind anymore. It's not gonna, there's no way it's gonna be new. Maybe?
Yes, you can still buy the metal Slinky.
I didn't think that you could, because I know when I looked for them for Marcus when he was little, they didn't have them. And that was the early 2000s, and you couldn't buy a metal Slinky. Unless recently, over the past few years, they have brought back metal ones.
If there's anything you ever learned in our almost 6 years together, unless you do research,
I know,
you don't know for sure unless you.
Well, that's just it. In the early 2000s, I did the research.
Right, but that's.
And like I said, it could have been
15, 16 years ago.
He turns 19 this month.
You said the early 2000s.
Well, I was researching it for a gift for him. So that's still, but and I mean he turns 19 this month. But
yeah, I know.
And it's possible.
I'm trying to figure out what to get him.
But it is possible that over the past few years they've brought back metal ones. But I know that when I was doing the research then, they had stopped making metal Slinkies in the late 90s. So, but that's going to do it for today. We will be back next Monday together. Wednesday, I will have a video up on socialization.
I don't know what my topic is
and
yet.
Then he'll have one up on Friday. He still doesn't know what he wants to talk about yet. But
I'm trying to be cautious here because I can go on a rant forever about all kinds of stuff. So.
Right. But
any questions, concerns, comments,
just leave them in the
comments
below.
Or if you want to be anonymous about anything,
you can email us.
Email us.
Email is also
and your name won't
below.
We won't put out your name or anything. If you want to be anonymous about any questions, that's fine. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your neighbors.
Also, if you want to follow us on any other social medias, those descriptions are those links are in the descriptions below. So, and then everything that we talked about today will also be in the description below. So.
But I'm not responsible for what shows up on my Facebook.
Not always.
Because I share stuff and not even have a care in the world.
Right.
Because you got to live life. Be who you want to be. And one thing, don't be afraid to express yourself.
Yeah. So you have a nice week and we will see you next week. Or actually we'll see you later. Bye-bye.